Hello, my name is Geogen and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I'm going to be looking at the VK4503 and providing a review on it. All the stats that you need to know, good and bad, about this Tier 7 Premium. So, I'll be comparing it mostly to the Tiger 1 as it is its most likely contemporary. You do obviously have the T29 and such, but most players are going to be playing Tier 7 Tiger 1s as their German heavy tanks, but they might be interested in this VK4503, see what it does differently or better, or in fact worse. So to begin with, you have the same 88mm gun as the Tiger 1, or rather you have the L71 88mm, but it is slightly different in a number of respects, some good, some bad. So to begin with, the Tiger 1 has a much better rate of fire, almost 9 rounds a minute, which is incredible, and your reload time is therefore under 6 seconds. Same penetration, same APCR penetration and HE penetration across the board. Damage is the same, 240 with 295 if you get those penetrating HE shells. Better accuracy though, 0.33 versus 0.34, and aim time is significantly better of 2.2 versus 2.7, and the weight is the same. Whatever. Interesting vehicle here I've not seen as well, VK4502B P Ops B7, not seen that. Maybe that'll be added later on, but you have the same gun, better aim time and accuracy, but worse rate of fire. In terms of your survivability, your hit points and your armor, we'll take a look at the armor profile later in Tanks GG, but your hit points is only 1400. You have 100 therefore less than that of the Tiger 1. But you do have the same 100mm of frontal hull armor and turret armor, and 80 on the sides and rear. Exactly the same, but as you're going to see, the shape and the angling is going to make a bit of a difference in comparison. Mobility wise, you have a 700 horsepower engine and you weigh 65 tons. Specific power therefore of 10.67 per ton. Horsepower per ton. So your top speed is 38 and your reverse top speed is 12. Traverse speed off the tracks is 31. Comparing to the Tiger, better traverse speed, worse top speed, same reverse speed, and same engine power but slightly heavier vehicle. So your specific power is in fact worse. Concealment, very poor, but you know, you might want to see this 7.13%. I do have camouflage on this vehicle, but it's not really that important. You will be seen quite frequently and often. It is a very tall vehicle. View range, 415 meters, 676 signal range. This is a bit warped because I have a good crew. If I took the crew out, the view range goes to 388. I do have a ventilation class on here. I'm not sure what the standard view range is. Let's put the commander back in. Doesn't say. Good, but I think it's about 380. And your signal range is worse, but who cares? So without any further ado, we'll just take a look at the armor profile in Tanks GG. So here we are in Tanks GG with the VK4503, and we also have the Tiger 1 for later comparison. But 100mm of armor on both vehicles at the front. The VK, however, has better frontal armor. The upper plate is 175mm at this kind of angle because it is a angled slope. Your lower plate is 140. If I angle it about this, it's 180 in fact. Incredible. I did not realize it would be that strong. So you have a stronger lower plate compared to your upper plate. If you angle it about this, you'll get 150, 160 on the upper and 180 on the lower. Exposing your side armor too much, however, could make it much flatter 100mm maximum, going up to 100 odd here if at this angle. But if you angle about this with the turret facing about there, you'll have almost 200mm of effective side armor, which is very nice at tier 7, so you'll be able to use this quite nicely. However, the problem is you have a very flat turret and it's only 100mm thick. People are going to shoot you here and here all day long, and you're only going to gain about 110 to 100mm, maybe 120. Down here in fact is 200 if you're very lucky, but generally you're going to get penned. I've also been penned in the roof. It's only 25mm thick, which is quite unfortunate. There's a replay later on with a Ferdinand penetrating right there with his 128mm gun. Your cupola is 100mm thick, but no one cares really about that as your turret front is very weak. Comparing to the Tiger 1 though, you have very nice frontal upper and lower plate armor, 100mm again, but very flat, 106 here, and 100 flush here, going up to 101 in some places. If you angle this, you're going to get up to 117, maybe 120, there we go. 120, 130 on the lower plate. Up here is 145, like I said, no one's going to shoot you there. Side armor can be quite nicely angled, but it's not anywhere as good as the VK4503's. But the Tiger does have better turret armor in terms of it's spaced, but it is flat. So you get places where it's 200, places where it's only 50, I just saw there, interesting. So you're not going to bounce too many shots in either vehicle with their turrets, but you do get spaced armor on the Tiger 1, even if it is quite thin. The turret sides is only 80 obviously, and they're very flat. On the VK you can bounce a few shots because the turret is angled, it's a stock Tiger 2 turret, remember, so you will get some ricochets. 200mm depends if they hit you when they're aiming. They're probably aiming for your front turret and they'll probably just ricochet off the side if they're unlucky. But there you go. Rest of the armor is unremarkable. But that's about it. I will just go back into the garage for a last summary before we see some gameplay. So the last thing we need to look at are the equipment and the consumables that you'll need, and obviously if you want to know about the crew skills. I have a very experienced crew here, this is my E75 crew, but generally repairs is a good one to go for first, and then you can go for any number of things. Smooth ride, brothers in arms, safe sewage, situational awareness, firefighting, any number of heavy tank skills really, but definitely repairs to start off with. Although as it is a premium vehicle, you'll probably be using a crew such as an E75 crew like I am. Any number of German crews, it's a 5-man crew, which is a standard setup for German heavy tanks until you get to the E100, which is a bit awkward. But in terms of equipment, gun rammer, ventilation, and I'm a bit of a cheapskate, I don't have enough credits at the moment, so I would recommend code optics plus more view range is always good. You could go binocular telescopes as you are going to be sniping a lot, but you're not a tank destroyer and you're not really going to be stationary for that long, but you could use it instead. Depends really, it's up to you. But getting more view range as you are going to be sniping a lot in this vehicle is always a good idea. And a standard array of consumables here, repair kit, first aid kit, and the fire extinguisher. You can swap these out for premium if you want, but it's a pretty standard array of consumables. So, without further ado, we'll have a look at some gameplay provided by myself as well as one of you guys. So here we are with the first bit of VK4503 gameplay provided to you by Oddwall Woof Woof or Craigie. We've seen him before on the PlayStation 4 under a different name, but here he is in his Tier 7 Premium course. So you can see the vehicle is not that bad in terms of its speed. It's not hugely fast, but definitely will get you to places quickly or more quickly than you might assume. It doesn't have as good as top speed as that of the Tiger, obviously. As I said in the garage, I think it's a 2 km/h difference, but regardless, you have good acceleration. Well, good enough acceleration. You're not going to win any prizes for speed, but it's nice to have a bit of speed in comparison to, say, a 100 or a mouse. Gives that guy a little bit of a round there. That guy shouldn't really be in this matchup. Talking of the matchup, it is a tier 7 maximum game, which is glorious for this tank, as even though the armor is only, well, the armor is only 100mm, but it will be more effective obviously in top tier matchups compared to those tier 9 games. No preferential matchmaking, obviously. They don't do that anymore, so buy those premiums without, or with the premium matchmaking, I say, and you may get some good games. Now, VK, I believe he was aiming for the drive wheel there, which is fair enough, but a bit of RNG, I suppose, just hits the front plate of the VK3601H. He pumps a shot into his side though for a nice amount of damage. And I know it's only 100mm, but 203 penetration at that angle probably won't go through. Now, he does do better though this time around. Waits for that guy to fire. Pulls around the corner, sees that Nashorn, he bounces the Nashorn. I don't think the Nashorn's using the top gun, and he puts a nice shot into him. Obviously, he could have been firing HE, but to be honest, I find HE to be quite frustrating. And penetrates the Nashorn there, dealing the rest of his hit points. Picks up his first kill. Pumps a shot into the VK4503 there at a better angle this time, so you can see 203mm of penetration at still quite an extreme angle, but not as extreme as the previous one. And the T150 takes out the VK behind him. He waits for him to fire, pumps one into his lower plate, I believe, or maybe through the front drive wheel. Regardless, dealing a bit more damage, and he goes down to the T37. So, this has been quite a quick match, as some of them are, in terms of half of his team are dead, and half of their team are dead. Enemy team bringing back 1 kill on their artillery. The base is not good, but then again, this is what happens on Sacred Valley. Usually, one team pulls around from one area, gets to the base, and it's completely exposed, and the other team goes to their base. It's basically a ring around the rosy kind of thing, ring around the roses. But never mind. Base is being kept, but it's only one guy so far. Update 9.15 actually updated that to tell you how many people are in the cap without using FVM, which is quite nice. Moving forward to deal with this T-37 though. Shouldn't be too hard, as he is only on 212 hit points. And we got the back of him. Very nice. That's his second kill. And this gun is very, very nice for this tier, and tier 8s as well. We'll be seeing some tier 8 maximum gameplay later. Puts a shot through the wall to hit the Hellcat, which is nice. And you may think he's in a bit of trouble here, but his track traverse is actually quite good. And the Hellcat misses, uses a bit of auto aim on the Hellcat there, puts another shot into him. So you can see the track traverse is not bad at all. He gets hit in the side from something else, probably on the hill there. Most likely that E25 who was last spotted. Almost got hit again in the side there, but he takes out that Hellcat before he can pull the trigger. FE304 here, he's destroying the buildings, but he isn't a problem. Quite a low roll there, but all well. It's quite unlikely he would have killed him in one hit. He got hit by the Crusader SP, which is a friendly artillery. You know, completely normal play. I really do find it frustrating where you know you can deal with somebody as long as you don't get hit by your own friendly artillery, but friendly artillery, they're not so keen on holding their fire, as most of you are probably aware. So, 3 enemies left, 2 artillery. M44, I don't know about you, but that M44 artillery piece is really, really frustrating. He's on that bridge there. Craig has spotted the threat. Turret traverse. Oh, a great shot there, pulling the trigger and getting an engine fire. Blind shot on the M41 doesn't connect. But he now sees him and the M41's fired. And he gets a one-shot kill, quite nice though. He could have, unfortunately, got a low roll like on the FV304, but he manages to get just about on average. I think the M41 has 240 hit points now, and 6 kills if you haven't noticed. And this kind of matchup is very, very nice indeed for dealing with, well, lower tier tanks, KV-1s, T-34s, Panzer IVs, stuff like that. They don't have the armor to deal with 203 penetration. And even though your rate of fire isn't as good as a Tiger would probably be penetrated by these guys more easily than that of when you're in the VK4503 due to that nice armor. However, the E25 is on the majority of his hit points and he has a great rate of fire compared to the Tiger 1 or this. Bounces 2 shots though, so E25 does penetrate his upper plate. He should be hitting his lower plate really, because the upper plate is angled at a lot nicer angle as he is on the hill. Takes him down though, securing 7 kills in a very quick game. Well, just over 7 minutes. Just under 7 minutes even. So, there you are. Thanks for sending that in, Craig. I'll be having a look at the post-game stats. So here we are with the post-game stats for Craig's match in the VK4503, a mastery game, an assortment of ribbons, arsonist, bruiser, duelist and fire for effect, almost 85,000 credits and 4,500 experience, times 2 and a premium. So, all nice things to see. We always like to play our premiums for the money, so you can make a tidy profit, which we'll see in a moment. Additionally, I must mention that tier 8 premiums will make you more money, but if you don't have enough money to spend on a tier 8 premium, or you don't think it's worth spending money on a tier 8 premium, as they are quite expensive, tier 7's a little bit cheaper and may do the trick. Pascucci's medal, killing those pesky artillery, always lovely when you do that, and high caliber. Top gun as well. So, in terms of the team score, top on damage, 3,300, 7 kills, and base experience of 1,377. Way more than all of the team down here. 900, 900, 900, 600, 500, and then the rest doing, well, below 500. E25 almost doing 3,000 damage and securing 5 kills of his own. Very nice. But, unfortunately for him, Craig was on the enemy team. Now, he fired 20 shots, 18 hits and 16 penetrations, good accuracy, a couple of misaligned shots at the beginning, but all well. One of them is down to RNG, I believe, but never mind. In terms of blocking damage, he didn't do that much blocking, but 400 damage blocked is not bad either. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 damaged and 7 destroyed, and a little bit of spotting damage or assistance damage. In terms of credit profits, 71,000 profit is not bad at all. The ammunition, I believe, costs around 230 per shell, so firing 20 shells, you know, it's not going to be that expensive. 5,000 on ammunition, 3,000 on consumables, and 6,000 on repairs. And a little fine for that RAM at the beginning, only 70 credits though, so we're not really going to be too hurt for losing 70 credits. And we also got some compensation for that artillery, I believe. But yeah, there you go. Let's move on to another replay. So this is me in the VK. We're in a tier 8 game this time. So we have, say, let's see, 4 tier 8s on each team. Oh, well, actually 3 on our team. And they have 3 on their team with a tier 8 artillery. We have 2 artillery instead. So that's how the matchmakers tried to balance it. Anyway, we are on Winter Himmelsdorf with a nice lick of paint on it, essentially. I don't think anything else has changed other than the snow everywhere. But we are not going to go on the hill because it'll take me too long, even though the acceleration is not that bad. And we get an eastern spawn anyway. There's an AMX CDC. We try and take a shot at him without aiming properly. Take a bounce into turret from the IS-3 possibly, or something behind him. Aim in a little bit more there into the CDC's turret. CDC's turret is made of paper or paper mache maybe. And we can penetrate him very easily with our 203 millimeters of penetration. There's a SU-152 there, which I'm glad I noticed. There's a little gap there. I've got my 25 times zoom on. I'm not sure how many people like that feature. I'm kind of still getting used to it. Maybe that was the Sturmel who shot us earlier. A bit of a lag spike earlier. And we get hit in the turret, I believe. Right there. So we were talking about those 25mm of roof armor earlier. You're going to get overmatched pretty easily, especially by 105mm guns. 75mm guns can even penetrate that. So it depends all on the angle and the penetration, obviously, but a lot of guns are going to overmatch that area. But that's only a little bit of our health gone. Well, a little bit meaning about a third. But never mind. Spotted again by the Ferdinand. Don't really want to get hit by his 128mm gun if he's got it. I can't see from this range, obviously, but getting shot at from someone, maybe on the hill. And I noticed that EZ8 up there, and I'm like, can I get a shot from here? I'm not sure. Turns out, if you reverse quite a long way, you just about can. And he's tracked for us, which is perfect news. Get one straight through his turret at an incredible range. I'm very lucky not to get hit in the side or rear there, and you can't really rely on that tactic too much without some situational awareness, and thankfully all of the enemies were preoccupied with the Panther M10 or were just not in a position to shoot me. MXCDC from earlier, pump a shot right through his upper plate and we were unspotted at that point. Heard the critical bell go off. I think I may have entered his driver or loader or some key component inside. CDC's coming around, he's only on 48 hit points, and we can't get the kill. Another CDC on our team takes him down. Hellcat coming along, he's running away, get a nice shot into him. Critical bell again, maybe his track went off, yes it did. Very nice, he fires a shot, misses, and we take him out. Camera's a bit juddery, I'm not sure what I was doing there. Maybe the replay's a bit dodgy, or maybe it's just me playing. I don't notice if I am juddery like that. It's a bit disconcerting though, bit off-putting, so sorry about that. Spotted again, so pull back into cover as I'm getting hit by what I think is the Firefly. Makes sense to be the Firefly, as two shots came in very quickly, or it could have been the Comet who's relocated. That SU-152 from earlier, and you notice how I've not camped this position, but I've kept moving around from this window area to the other side, and obviously I shot at that EZ8 on the hill, who is now dead. Who is now gone. My voice is slightly going. Firefly, I don't think I can hit him from here. No, he's behind a lot of cover. So it's good to be aware of where he is, and there are a lot of enemies where we are. We don't have any hill coverage, so I assume there aren't any more enemies up there, as we only saw that EZ8 from earlier. I mean, the IS and all that who are dead could have gone up there, but seems the enemy team didn't take the hill as a key area. I mean, I didn't either. SU-122, very lucky not to get our side armor and penetrate. Those things hit for 390 average damage. Those Soviet 122mm, which is not good. Our side armor is 80mm, but angled poorly, it's not going to penetrate. That one went in. Can we get another one? The kill shot. No, it goes straight into the turret mantle with the spaced armor. Ferdinand, we're trying to find his lower plate. There it is. He hits our tracks, which is very nice for us, as he does indeed have that 128mm gun. Reloaded, pull forward, hit his tracks. Not his tracks, well, hit his lower plate again. Lower plate, the Ferdinand, quite weak, and he hits us again in that area. Just going to pause it as we kill him. Huge explosion, that's pretty cool. But we see there's another roof penetration. One from earlier here, and then another one here. This 25mm of armor is not good enough against those kind of guns. But he gets what is coming to him, and we take him down. Scorpion, not a tank you see too much of. He appears to be around that corner. Yeah, he's on the other side of cover, we can't see him, so we can move on up. And there's only 4 enemies left. I think I was a bit dumbstruck when I got hit in that section of the roof, but you know, 25mm, as I said, it's not going to save you. Similar problem to that on the IS-3. The Ice 3's roof is quite weak, but it is angled better than that of this Tiger 2 wannabe, the VK4503. Checking left, checking right, they could be anywhere. There's a Sturm Mill around the corner. He's proxy spotted me. I'm kind of worried he may be facing this way, but unfortunately for him, he appears to have become a victim of physics. And we take him down. That's our 4th kill. IS-3, we get hit by the Scorpion. We hit the IS-3 and he's only on 29 hit points. I try and go for the ram. Not enough gun depression. And the Scorpion kills us. So that's the end of our game, unfortunately. But it shows you some good things and some bad things about the tank. The armor is not hugely reliable, but the gun is very nice indeed. And we go on to kill that FV207. So let's just have a very quick look at the post-game stats. Here we are. We had a first class for that game. Bruiser, Duelist, Fighter, Fly for Effect, 80,000 credits in total, and 4,112 experience. Not for ×2, but I believe this was with a consumable that you use, one of those things, I forgot what they're called, but you know, the things there you can get double experience, 50% experience or whatever. The things at the top left of your garage anyway. Top on the team on damage, 3,243 with 4 kills and 1,246 base experience. It's not a huge game, but I thought it was quite a nice one and probably my best in the vehicle yet. 18 shots fired, 17 hits and 15 penetrations, 3,200 damage as I said, some of which was from more than 300 meters away, but most of it was closer than that. So sniper, also mid-ranges is also quite good for this vehicle, not close-up brawler at all. 1,155 damage blocked by armor, 4 vehicles spotted, 8 damage and 4 destroyed, and a tiny bit of assistance damage, 88. In terms of profit, 68,000, and there's the breakdown of the credits. What's it called? Personal reserve, that's what it's called. So premium vehicle and personal reserve, you get more experience. Very nice indeed, and obviously it's a premium account as well. So there you go, my review and thoughts on the VK4503. I enjoyed the vehicle. It's probably not the best tank or premium tank ever, but it was certainly fun to play. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully you managed to get to the end of quite these long reviews that I do. I think you will quite enjoy them. Well, I think so anyway. Tell me if you know. But, as always, I've been Geogen, and I'll see you chaps and chapettes in the next one.